Fishing was here before the steel, before the chemicals. This was one of the original industries here in Redcar and on the northeast coast, and we absolutely have to remember it. I'm going to interview Paul and Tony, who are restoring some of our oldest and most historical boats on the northeast coast. They're called a cobbler, and basically a cobbler is a boat that's been used since the 1800s. Have you always been passionate about the sea?
Yeah.
Tell me how you got into it. Where did this begin?
Probably when I was about 7. And I used to go down on the rocks, and I can remember my father coming in from 2 to 10, and the first thing my mother said to him was, "Tony isn't home." So he went down looking for me, and he knew I'd be on the rocks, and the saving grace was I'd fell over on the little mussel shells, cut all my knee in little tiny cuts, and it was blood all down my foot. And of course, as soon as they saw me, instead of giving me a right walloping for not being home, I got cuddled.
Was your dad a fisherman?
No, but he used to go with the trawlers from Hartlepool, but he wasn't never a fisherman. He's got his claim to fame that he cut the steel for the Sydney Harbour Bridge. So he worked in Warrnambool when it was yeah.
So he was a steel.
Yeah, and I served my time on the railway. Yeah. And my claim to fame is I worked on the Flying Scotsman.
So you're 15 years old, you got your
first boat built for £115, 18 shilling. Wow. That's what it cost us.
What is a cobble?
It's a beach boat, really. It's designed for 2 men to work, for getting off through breakers and getting back through breakers, and it's one of the easiest tools for a fisherman to use is a cobble. The size of it, you know, how big it can be.
And now, am I right in thinking that cobbles are unique to the northeast?
Definitely, yep. You might find another one that's been sold from here or finish up somewhere else.
So once upon a time, fishing would have been one of the main industries here in Redcar. We're talking 1800s, even before there was steel, there was fishing. And the boats that these guys are using today are the exact same boats that they would have used back in the 1800s. And we're going to go and see what they've caught. Hopefully that boat is full of lobster. It's going to be then sent to market. Let's have a look. So they've got the lobsters from the pots, we've brought them to shore, we've drove them along to the fisheries, and now we're going to weigh them up and we'll see how much all of this stuff's worth. So this is where the lobsters end up after they've been brought out the pots. We brought them onto shore, and now how many lobsters are in here at the moment?
Rough guess. So there's more than 100 in here now.
Wow, yeah.
Sell more than that.
Do you? So these will go straight out the door during the day?
Well, we'll get quite a few by tomorrow, yeah.
I think one of the things that we've lost in the UK is our ability to be self-sustainable. So we don't know how to feed ourselves anymore. We don't know how to live off the land. We don't know how to live off the sea. And actually, I see the sea as a huge resource. The coast, for me, is still has to be part of our assets and our future. But it feels like something needs to shift because it's going the wrong direction. And it's like, can any of these older traditions be revived? Is the question I want to explore.
It was like our heritage when I was a kid to go and catch something and pay for your fuel and make some pocket money.
And that's it, and you'd want young people to, I would love young people to experience life on the sea or like the coast.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen now.
What's happened over the years that's just prevented?
Oh, Edward Heath was our ruination. He sold us down the river with a common fisheries policy, and he, like I told you yesterday, so he could sell all the pork and beef and what have you. The only concession he could give them to buy our meat was giving them our fish. So they're allowed to come right up wherever they want, right, you know, to within 3 miles of the shore.
It's absolutely clear to me that although our fishing industry isn't what it was, and it could probably never be what it was, there are still jobs here, there are still livelihoods here, there are still dreams and visions here. Secondly, we need to make sure that we champion, celebrate and remember our heritage. Fishing was here before the steel, before the chemicals. This was the original, one of the original industries here in Redcar and on the northeast coast, and we absolutely have to remember it. Do you think it's the end then?
Well, 50 or 60% of the people that fish the boats at Redcar now are all, I'm the oldest I would think now, but you know, they're all in the 60s, 50s and 60s. Well, once they get too old to go to sea, there's nobody going to replace them.